awesome series.
It's got some competition for that, but we'll have to see how it plays out. The thing I want to see is Nova. They have been a team that has been known to not ban this Kensei, not prioritize this Kensei.
They've changed things up.
Yeah, they know for a fact that Tribe love this Kensei and are very good with it.
I really, really like the Grumpjaw ban as well, because Nova have been relying on that Grumpjaw. It's been kind of a crutch for them in some ways. Not in that they need it, but we haven't really seen them without it, honestly. They keep on locking it in.
Well, they are also a team, starting Alover was one of these players that is known for, if they're going to let it through, why would I not play it type of situation. So it's one of those things where if teams, they love this Grumpjaw pick, and if teams are not going to take it away, they're just going to keep playing it. So they are a team that gets into kind of that rhythm of just playing a few set heroes every single time. Tony is another one of these heroes that they play almost every time that it's available. I would go ahead and lock it in right away.
Yeah, absolutely, and unsurprising lock in there as well. I would love to see something like a Fortress locked in early. It's something that's fell out of favor a little bit, but honestly, still incredibly strong with things like the Churnwalker and Grumpjaw banned away. It's one of the best early game heroes that you can have in the jungle or in the captain role. They're actually going to lock in Finn very early in the draft.
Yeah, a little bit surprising to see it this early, but we did see it very early last series as well. And I think the Fortress works really well with the Finn because of just giving the extra movement speed. You mentioned the early game pressure, but also then when you have a weapon carry, which it feels like they're likely to end up going towards one of those hyper carry weapon heroes. That's just their style that they've played all along. You give them that extra lifesteal potentially as well, depending on how you level up the abilities.
Absolutely. You expect them to go with something like a Baron, honestly. Truth has played it a whole bunch. Kinetic is already locked in for the side of the tribe, so they're not going to pick up Baron unless they follow PT Lamb's legacy and go with the CP Baron. You expect Truth to go with the Baron in this matchup.
The CP Baron is something that hasn't quite
honestly,
made its way
Baron
over
Celeste.
to North America. It hasn't really made its way outside of PT Lamb, but
when you look at what Nova has been playing recently, and when you look at what they've drafted right here, Baron Celeste just makes sense for them.
Absolutely.
Maybe go with we've seen them go with a third sort of utility or a third carry. We'll see which direction they go with that one, but Baron Celeste just makes complete sense. And honestly, there's not that much dive on the side of Tribe right now. It's going to be kind of difficult to get to that backline.
Yeah, obviously they still have 2 picks left to go for those dive heroes, but we'll see. I think the Celeste would be a safe pick here but at the same time, they're probably feeling comfortable knowing that it's not likely to get picked up. They actually choose the Scarf instead. And it's kind of interesting because we were talking before the matches at all started today. We said it's been really surprising that Scarf hasn't been seen that much. And now all of a sudden, these last 2 series, both of them have had Scarf.
Honestly, I think one of the reasons we've seen less Scarf is things like Flicker in the meta. There's been so many big bruisers in the meta, but when you've already got Finn and Tony on your side, they've got an Arden, they've got a Lance, they will be able to body block somewhat, but nothing like a Finn can, nothing like a Flicker can, because they just get pure tank mode. Then again, Flicker could still be locked in here. I was expecting sort of a third carry role here coming out from Tribe, but it looks like they might go utility.
Arden or Lance could both also go in the carry-oriented builds. So
but you are still a utility pick, really, at its core.
Ultimately, yes, but it is going to be that Flicker, so very, very tanky front line in response to the Scarf. So I like the fact that they went for the Flicker after saying, okay, they took Scarf, let's get these heroes that can body block, let's just make sure we fill out with these big, tanky frontline bruisers. And now for the side of Nova, do they want the carry? They do. They get the assassin in
I was hoping for this because this means that we have one team going with a more utility-focused lineup and one team going with the more aggression. And believe it or not, it's going to be Nova going aggressive. Who would have thought it? That's so unlike
So surprising. I wouldn't have thought that Nova would play an aggressive composition.
Absolutely.
But I love their aggressive compositions because Scoundrel described it earlier as the escalating composition, where you have that early game presence that can then become this massive late game force. And that's exactly the way that they play the game.
Absolutely. Now, Nova have never won a championship. Tribe, the current reigning world champions. This is a true matchup for the ages. I'm expecting this to go the full 3 games. We'll have to see which one's going to come out on top, though. It's time to get on into our championship match for the VPL Summer Open North America. It's Tribe going up against Nova for the title of the best team in North America.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Game 1 of the VPL Summer Open North American Championship. My name is Humanist. I'm joined once again by the ever-lovely X-Scoundrel. X-Scoundrel, we have two of the best teams in the world ready to duke it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be probably the best matchup that you'll see across the entire weekend. Two incredible North American teams, Tribe and Nova. Nova, a very, very mechanical, prowess-orientated team, and you've got some incredible players like Truth, starting all over Delphi, young players who are known for their mechanical god skills. And then you have a very polished team in the form of Tribe, and actually you can see Chuck, ex-TSM player, now playing on Tribe, subbing in for Zio.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see Chuck coming in for the squad. I saw Zio lurking in chat. I'm pretty sure it was Zio lurking around. I'm sure he's interested to see how this is going to go ahead and work out here today. But the way you describe these teams, do you kind of see Nova as just like more mechanically skilled, but the stronger team is Tribe?
I think it's difficult to say that they are significantly more mechanically skilled, but it's kind of what Starting and Truth were known for. You know, they just were some of the best mechanical players in North America. I mean, Starting had one of the best Ringos for a reason that his stutter step was, you know, probably the best Ringo stutter step I've ever seen.
Dude, give me some Ringo in my life.
I know, dude, I know. But it's more that Tribe are just, you know, very polished in terms of their overall map play. You know, I would argue that Starting and Truth are probably more mechanically skilled than someone like Chuck, for instance. But I would say Max is up there as one of the most mechanically skilled players in North America as well.
For sure. I think it's a hard argument to make. It's more like these players had the style of making these solo and individual plays, and well, we'll find out here by the end of today who is the better player, or who are the better players, who is the better team overall. If you had to make a prediction for this series coming into it, which way would you lean?
That's so tough. I don't know. I think Tribe without Zio is definitely a Tribe that is weaker. I actually probably would go against the grain. I would probably be saying 2-1 Nova.
Interesting. And
what about you? What about you, Humanist? What would you vote?
Honestly, I think it's 50-50. I think it's right down the middle. This is a really hard one to call here. If I had to go 51-49, I'd go to Tribe.
Okay, it's nice to have that bit of dichotomy, you know. But yeah, I think overall both of these teams are incredible. There's not much between them. I just have a funny feeling. You know when you just got a funny feeling about something, you know?
Oh, I know all about that funny feeling, but we'll talk about that after broadcast as Eco's getting melted down. Nice guillotine wall to peel. First blood, double blood, going over to Tribe.
Damn, well, maybe I was wrong. Tribe definitely looking good right now.
You're dead wrong.
I know, I'm dead wrong, dude. Tribe still in an incredible position, although you can see Truth has got that scaling Baron that we've talked about a lot, Starting also scaling very nicely on the Scarf. So I think if this gets towards late game, and you can find a way to isolate School potentially, or at least put pressure on him, I do think I favor what Nova have brought to the table. However, I don't know if many of you guys have known, but I've watched a bit of Joseph's stream from time to time. Joseph's jungle flicker is legendary. It is a legendary pick.
It is so toxic.
It's not toxic. It's a real pick, and it's very good.
If you're playing against it, it's toxic. It's the worst.
Absolutely.
You don't want to play against it. Yeah, let's go ahead and break it down. There was a bit of an invade, but let's break this flicker down.
All right, so Flicker, basically, it works the same way as you see sometimes Captain Flickers playing. The one item that makes Flicker good on this current update is Pulse Weave. And what it does is it allows Flicker to be more than a walking scout cam, which is kind of what he was previously. It allows him to have an engage tool that really functions nicely with that stealth, because you can stealth engage on Pulse Weave, but you can also just flat out engage with Pulse Weave and then just pop your B in the middle of their team like this, and that starts to slow everybody down. It's an incredible engage tool, and it allows you to set up fights on your terms. Also, it does a surprising amount of damage, and Flicker's quite tanky.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's got amazing synergy there, and you know, there's nice things that Flicker already brings to the table, like his ability to just kind of de-ward the map, take down vision very easily, very naturally. So that's all he needed: a little durability, a little tank up, some damage. Erica jumped forward plus a turret shot. I kind of froze up as Joseph was getting lit up, but he'll be able to get himself back. In fact, thinking about jumping into the river here, where 3 of his teammates are clashing with Delphi, Eco, and Starting. The Crystal Treant is spawned up, and these teams both want to go ahead and get over onto this buff. Eco trying to be the front line, dropping low. He's going to have to get back here. Sketchy situation, but Truth has waddled his Baron way down from the top lane. And Crystal Buff does go over to Tribe after all of that and rotating the Baron down.
Yeah, Old School, nice rotation from him. Also picks up the Crystal Buff for his work. He's now, oh, wait a second, he might be going toe-to-toe here. He does.
Toe to floor.
Toe to floor, I think is a better way of describing it.
And now Joseph, he's in there trying to show us the power. Starting, winds up that Dragon's Breath. He'll go forward. Look at this little dragon fly. He is so quick. Able to get one, now in a good position to get onto this Crystal Strand. Nova bringing the pressure right back the other way. In fact, they will get it. And with that other CP buff being dropped down, now they're both on the side of Nova. Gotta feel good about that one if you're a Nova fan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really good take. I think Old School just maybe disrespecting that rotation coming out from Erica on the Reza, and now Old School again taunted up, dead.
Oh my goodness, that was just a good old-fashioned beatdown.
Yeah, and also just because they knew that the healing flask was not there for Old School, so
Joseph!
absolutely.
Oh, Joseph just ended Erica. Oh, that was the 2 versus. I mean, his team was there, but that was a 2 versus 1. Joseph did that. Joseph made it happen. Most mechanically skilled player on the map.
Hey, dude, Joseph's Flicker, we talked about it. It's a thing to be reckoned with. The Pulse Weaver's online now. That is an item spike for him, and he's going to allow to be functioning and kind of a roaming gank squad with this particular item.
I'm excited to see what they can get done as time goes on here. They'll secure up weapon buff onto School and now move into Ghostwing area, where they do have vision control in the pit. There is vision control from Nova on the top brush up towards the middle lane side. Nova are not going to give this away for free, though. They sniff it out. They know something's happening. They'll go ahead and force Tribe off of this. Tribe going to respect the fact that Nova are down here, that they're capable of getting some work done. Go ahead and move down. It looks like they're positioning. They're just waiting to figure out where there's no good opening. Nova's positioning is so good that they can't go for the Ghostwing. They can't go for the turret either. But Max Green has made his way down here now. Joseph looking for the engage. He's on to Delphi. Truth stays at range. Delphi rooted up. Looks like Delphi's going to go down. No, with the fountain, he stays alive. Nova able to turn it around with Chuck falling first. Looking for Old School next. Thank goodness Mooncloak came out, because that would have been Tribe losing at least 1 or 2 more. And with that, this is Nova into the Ghostwing pit right here. There's vision down from Tribe, but nothing that they can do.
Yeah, Nova finally get the first major objective on the map in the form of that Ghostwing. And again, you didn't need to win the team fight in terms of actual kills, but just by forcing Tribe back to base, it bought you enough time. And you've got a Baron with 1 item finished. You've also got a Scarf. They will rip through something like a Ghostwing very quickly. And you can see the health regen has already made them healthy enough to siege that tier 1 turret too. So this is a good start for Nova. And now they just need to look to rotate, take more objectives, and maybe now they could group up and go for this top lane tier 1. The wave isn't quite in their favor, and it would take a bit of time to get there, but it's definitely on the cards.
What's interesting is they're in a great position to take down this top lane and apply a lot of pressure on the map. At the same time, Erica's still down in bottom, and they will have to rotate on this because Erica capable of getting a lot of work done as well. And yeah, nope, that's top turret going down fairly easily. Actually, a lot faster than I even imagined it would. With that, Nova rotate back on the map. Tribe can't even shove in mid at all.
Yeah, and actually, right now, Nova on the front foot. Maybe I should go back to my original prediction, Humanist. I can't back out. I'm not backing out. I'm on the Nova hype train. Not backing out of this one. I think that
around. I mean, this is your life. Live it.
I actually wore flip-flops today, so maybe I'm allowed to do that.
I mean, you don't have to wear the flip-flops to flip-flop as a caster. It is okay. It's only chat that was going to rip on you, and, I'm sure they won't clip it at all. If you are wrong, talk about it later. Erica trading down in bottom. Erica's doing just fine. In fact, Tribe are going to go ahead and rotate out, get back to the base. A couple breaking points being picked up across the map simultaneously. School's Kinetic has the breaking point. Truth's Baron has the breaking point. Both these teams ready to go.
Yeah, and like this is hitting item spikes that we should have seen from Vision much earlier in the game right now. Truth also not heavily investing into defense, knows that the offensive items are key, especially 3 items minimum are key on Baron to make him function in these later team fights. And you can see picking up the critical strike. Dude, big
he's got
fan.
the minions foot. I'm telling this is what you do. Like, you can get the weapon infusion, but look at that. Guaranteed crit to start things off. I'm loving it. Instant breaking point stacks. Now he doesn't follow up on it, so it's not like the most ideal usage we've ever seen, but it means that, like, he scared him off. There was no way they're going to stand and trade there. And now Tribe, You see him kind of in an unfamiliar position where they're being slightly outclassed in the rotations movements across the map. Now, Mooncloak, Gabe Vizzle drops the gauntlet, but the block by starting to get back. A nice Scythian wall to knock Truth into the gauntlet wall and stun him up, but he stays alive. Truth gets a couple basic attacks. He's going to reset and reposition. Can he? He jumps forward!
Right to the back!
Oh, Truth has no fear. He only fights. Holy Nova, and we don't even have a grace. Nova take 3 down. They lose nothing. We're 11 minutes in, and Nova is putting the pedal to the metal.
That right there is 4D chess Baron. Just knowing that a lot of that movement and closing gap potential has been used right there to get onto Truth's position. Why not just jump to the black, split the team, take the pressure off your teammates, and create a very interesting decision for Tribe to have to make in that team fight? Do we peel back to deal with Truth and the Baron, or do we try and take these low HP health bars down in front of us who aren't quite such high priority? That was a really nice split of focus for Nova. And Old School now to walk straight to his death, surely here. Maybe Tribe can save him though.
Old School trying to make something happen. He sees an opening. They may be able to collapse and find a kill. In fact, it looks like, again, Delphi in a bad spot here. Delphi doesn't have his ultimate. He must go down. In fact, he will. That's the 4th kill of the game for Tribe, and maybe an opportunity for them to get in onto this Ghost Wing here. Maybe clear out some vision, but definitely an opening for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Delphi, whilst he is a key member of the team, it might not be enough to allow Tribe to go straight for this. I think there definitely will be a contest here. Nova definitely, you can see with the Baron ultimate coming out.
Yeah, this is forcing Tribe back. Tribe, interesting position. Eco only level 7, so they won't find that stun. Look at the Dragon's Breath burning on through. Tribe can't handle the heat. They're going to take down a double kill with that one Baron attack at the end, splashing on through. What the nuts? That's the ace, and Nova Esports are dominating Tribe Gaming here in game 1.
Nearly 10k gold for Nova. They took a very small advantage and ran with it, and now they are looking like an insurmountable lead is opening up right now. Nova are very much in the dream seat here. They're going to go straight for Black Claw off the back of that Ghost Wing, take a quick 1-2 punch, as well as picking up a bit of pressure in the bot lane too. This is Nova's game to lose right now, Humanist.
You know, it's interesting. Like, on one side, you have 3 damage dealers. On the other side, 2 damage dealers. And when you're behind, it definitely doesn't feel good to be not having as much damage to stack up. And Nova are doing a great job to capitalize on that. It's like at this point, with Truth being online, who do you choose to go for? You can't let the Baron just hammer on you. He's just stacking up breaking point. Plus, he's just going to get stronger as the fight goes on. The res is going to get into the back line so easy, and if you're not at the same time, you got starting on a Scarf. He's just raining down Spitfires. Speaking of, they're onto this turret. Turret's going to go down fairly quickly here. Little taunt over the wall from Delphi, looking to cause some trouble. Chuck, one attack from Truth drops him low. Eco, he's pretty low. They're fighting inside the gauntlet. Bada-boom disrupts the fight. Truth finds the Malign. Now only 1 damage dealer for Tribe. They're splitting, running like, oh my goodness, dropping like flies, we could say. Armory is down, and it looks like Nova are about to close this game out here. And I took 51-49 on the series, but things not looking quite good for my predictions at this point as Tribe loses game 1 in under 14 minutes. Numbers are hard.
Have you seen Tribe lose a game like that? I don't think Tribe have lost since preseason.
I've never seen Tribe lose a game.
That was insane. Again, look, the roster changes, bringing D'Angelo out and Chuck in. There's going to be some gelling issues there, but Nova look really strong. By the way, didn't mention Pulse Weave Reza. It's actually a pretty good item to make him a bit tankier in team fights and give him more chase down potential, as well as having that extra burst damage on top of Aftershock. I like it, Erica. I like it. All right, let's go.
I like you. I also like Tasty Bacon and Munchables.
What a performance coming out from Nova. They managed to take it, and a convincing win as well against Tribe. What a way to start the championship match.
It took a little while. It was even for a fair bit of time, but once Nova got that lead, the snowball started rolling down the hill. They absolutely took off after that first big team fight win.
And honestly, it happened a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna. When you've got a Baron, when you've got a Scarf on your lineup, you expect it to be a very slow build, but they kind of won a couple of mid-game team fights and just immediately hit the go button and just charged forwards.
And that's kind of always been the MO of starting all over, and truth is that they take these hyper late game carries and somehow bring them online like 10 minutes into the game instead of 20 minutes in. So really excellent stuff coming out of Nova and just looking so strong.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't even take anything away from Tribe here because it's not like Tribe played this badly. Like their rotations were good. They were grouping up for fights. They just couldn't seem to win these team fights. They maybe needed to change the style and stop going for straight 5v5s because it wasn't something that they could win clearly in this matchup. But we'll have to see if that's something they can change going into game 2. Bear in mind, Tribe is a very cognizant team. You expect them to pivot here, and going into the next draft, you expect things to change up. But let's take a look at the path to our championships that these two teams have taken. Starting off with Nova, they kicked things off by defeating Liberation X. That was a hype matchup as well, 2-0. They then took out Vegetable Juice 2-0 in the quarterfinal. And in the semifinal, they had a close series with Vision, but managed to edge it out 2-1 in the end.
Yeah, it's been really strong stuff for Nova all the way through. Again, having to start with Liberation X and only getting stronger and stronger opponents from there. So really impressive run for them. Tribe, they've had a little bit of a cleaner run through the bracket thus far, but being the #1 seed, you typically are expecting to have the easiest run through. As you can see, they took down Toxic Peace and Rampage Gods, and finally it took out Team Ferox yesterday. All three of them in 2-0 fashion. This is their first loss of the VPL.
Yeah, let's bear in mind there was that factoid right at the very start of this series. They hadn't lost a game since preseason. Obviously, Scrim's not included, but like in tournament play, they had not lost a game since preseason. That's a long time, and Nova have just served them that first loss. Nova has yet to win a championship as an organization, and they are one game away right now. This next game, everything pivots on this singular match.
Yeah, this is so crucial for them. And for the side of Nova, we know that they're very, like, the mental aspect of this team is something that we've talked about a lot. You know, how do they recover from falling behind or things like that? Now it's got to be, can they keep it contained until the game is done? You cannot go into this one thinking, we've got this in the bag or anything like that, because that's when you end up starting to make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see how they're going to move forward. Honestly, this next draft, I'm excited to see what comes out from these two teams. The Scarf, I think, worked incredibly well. The fact that he was able to get those massive Dragon Breaths across the entire team. And that's kind of the difference maker with Scarfs on. Sometimes it just gets blocked away. Sometimes your Dragon Breaths just aren't good enough. But if you can get those ults off, you can win the game single-handedly. Let's take a look at Delphi, though, because especially during the earlier portions of the game, he was absolutely pivotal to the team. By the end of the game, he didn't have the best score out of everyone, but he set everyone up to win.
Yeah, and it's kind of almost, the style is very similar to what we've seen from Delphi throughout the VPL. Not having the best score is something that we don't usually see from him. He's usually right up there, and you had the top KDA coming into this weekend of all North American players. So he has absolutely been on fire.
All right, we are into the draft for game number 2 now. This is a test for Tribe at this stage. They need to pivot, they need to change their style, and find another way to come at Nova, because if they can't draft well here, they're going to be out of the tournament. This time they're on the B side, and look at this. Nova just not banning away. They want to allow all of the power picks through.
Yeah, it's taking a page out of Clash's book. I mean, hey, Clash won Europe. They're the top team in Europe. Not a bad team to take a page from. We'll see what the bans are going to end up being here. As obviously you do have a ban coming out from the side of Tribe, so they will almost certainly be taking their second ban as well.
Yeah, when you're second pick, you have to go for the bans. You have to stop whatever you don't want them to get going into that first pick. Churnwalker is the first ban. I'm not really surprised by. Both of these teams incredibly good at Churnwalker. And I feel like Churnwalker is one of those heroes that's very polarizing. If you're not that good, he's kind of whatever. But if you're good at Churnwalker, he can single-handedly win the early game.
Now the mind games start, because I'm sure Tribe would love to leave this Kensei open and take it for themselves. Nova, they've left it open almost every game. They have not picked it up when they've had the chance to pick it before.
And also the kinetic.
Was that all just a bait, though? The Kensei is available, so is the kinetic. where do Nova decide to go? Was the entire VPL a bait to try and get Tribe to leave the Kensei open for them?
This is a story as old as time, right? Keep your cards close to your chest. Don't play everything until the final matchup. We're here. We're in the championship, and it looks like the Kensei is going to come out from Nova. We've yet to see this in the tournament.
They've played us all for fools, Joe. They have played us all for fools.
They've let Kinetic
go
through.
yesterday. Yesterday on Hayside, they let it go for Vision to take, feeling confident they could win with it, and now they say, you know what? Now is the time we take it with match
Snuck
point.
in some practice last night.
Oh my goodness. I am so impressed by the fact that they kept this. They had everyone, anyone that looked at their drafts was under the impression that Nova just did not play Kensei.
My one concern, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, because I feel like we hype up Kensei as an auto win a lot of the time. My one concern is we haven't seen it in tournament play from them. We haven't seen it in scrims from them. Solo queue Kensei is not the same as competitive Kensei, so you have to wonder how much practice have they actually been able to have on Kensei, because it's not an easy hero to play at the top level.
It's not, but I feel like if you're willing to pull it out first pick in the your last game of the finals if you win it,
that implies
you have
confidence.
To feel very confident.
It does imply confidence, but I have yet to see a singular game of Vainglory 3v3, 5v5 ever that Nova wasn't confident. Like, have you ever seen Starting All Over or Truth not confident, or Delphi? These guys are always confident. They ooze confidence when it comes to the Rise.
That is a very good point, but again, we'll have to just wait and see. Obviously, it's once we get back into the draft, it's going to be the same picks and bans. So that Kensei, that is locked in. That is going to be happening. I am so excited to see what they do with this Kensei, or if, like you said, maybe it was just, okay, we actually changed our mind. We don't want Tribe to have this. We maybe should have banned it away. And so they're just taking it to get it away from them. I think if that's the case, it could end up being a mistake that haunts them. But I am much more inclined to believe that they just kept it as a secret this entire time.
Maybe. We'll have to see how this draft continues to pan out. And obviously, we'll have to see how Tribe kind of draft around this, because yes, we've seen Kensei doing incredibly well in tournaments, but we've seen Tribe doing incredibly well in the tournament, and we know that they have strategies to play around this kind of thing. They wouldn't have not banned it if they didn't think that they could take it on. They wouldn't have banned Churnwalker over Kensei if they didn't think that they could handle a Kensei.
Unless they were just, again, under this impression that Nova did not play it.
Sure. I mean, that is definitely a possibility. We'll have to wait and see, as we're just getting the draft restarted, and we'll be able to get this game number 2 underway. I have to say, though, coming on into this series, I was expecting, full-on 25-minute games, back-to-back, like, even kills. But Tribe, after they lost control, they actually started off in the lead. Let's bear that in mind. Tribe got the first few kills of the game, but then they had one bad skirmish, and it felt like they just couldn't turn anything around.
Yeah, they had a lot of trouble getting themselves back into these fights, and again, so much of it was the fact that this Baron and Scarf were doing far more damage than I think that they were anticipating when it came for those mid-game skirmishes.
Yeah, and honestly, there was no way to get onto that backline. There was no way to attack the Scarf or the Baron. Everything was being body blocked by the Finn. It was very difficult for them to be able to, do anything about the fights. They maybe needed to get a flank going or something. There are definitely ways to get out of that situation. Try and look for a flank. Look for a split push. Don't fight them directly. But in the end, if they're that far ahead, and if they're grouped as a 5 and you split push, they're just going to take turrets faster than you. You can't just always alt F4 the situation.
You have to look at where the enemy team is before you go for a split push like that, because if they are at all grouped up, ready to push, like you said, they're just going to say, okay, you can have one turret in bottom, we'll take 2 or 3 of them in top. We saw it happen. We've seen it happen numerous times in Vainglory 5v5 already, where teams have made this mistake of committing too hard to that split push and then just getting punished heavily for it.
Absolutely. It appears that there's a bit of an issue with the draft right now. So while we get that figured out, I want to remind you guys that Yates is going to be joining the Vainglory roster on Wednesday. So let's take a look at his teaser.
For generations, our people have run from the churn. But now, with Githian steel, Elkin magic, and Seraphim knowledge, my men and I have obliterated the infested lands, making way for those who will end the cycle of devastation forever. If some old trees must fall, if some beasts swear revenge, well, that is the price to be paid for survival.
And Yates will be available in the Autumn Open as well. That's going to be kicking off in October on the 20th. And make sure that you guys are signed up. The signups are already open and anyone can enter. It's the Autumn Open. So make sure you guys are involved.
Yeah, free to sign up. Signups are open right now. Head on over to Twitter, jump on in, and get yourself signed up for your chance at a piece of the $10,000 prize pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently the draft has happened without us, so we'll be able to discover that once we get on into the game. Apologies for the issues with the draft, and we should be able to kick things off very shortly for our potentially final game of the tournament. Tribe are against the ropes right now. They have to come back. They have to win 2 games on the trot. Nova on the cusp of their very first championship victory. It's about time we head on to Sovereign's Rise, kick this thing off. It's Tribe up against Nova. It's game number 2. I'm going to pass it over to Excoundrel and Humanist to talk you through the last of the summer VPL action.
Here we go for game 2 between Nova and Tribe. I hope you guys are ready because this is surely going to be fireworks. My name's Humanist. I'm joined by Scoundrel one more time. And these are some strong compositions right here, my man. I do not know what to expect.
I mean, if you look over the side on Nova, if it ain't broke, don't fix it is kind of the way that they're running with this. Pretty much everybody on similar heroes. The only change is that Erica Kane is going to be on the Lance instead of the Reza, but it pretty much functions the same way. You're still relying on Truth. You're still relying on starting to be the major powerhouses on the team. I think what we see from Tribe is a bit more comfort. Max is going to be on his patented Grumpjaw. Old School's going to be going back to something that we've known him play for years now, which is that Vox. Joseph's going to be on his Fortress. I mean, these are just comfort picks for Tribe. And it also has the element of being a really solid teamfight composition as well.
I'd love to see Joseph on the Fortress with this Vox coming out for school. Like you said, I mean, this is comfort. They just play together so incredibly well. The synergy between these two heroes, let alone what these guys can do as a squad. I'm scared for both of these. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is first place on the line for Tribe. No, but 1 game away from taking first place in the VPL Summer Open for North America. This is pretty tense stuff. And both teams gonna kind of slow roll it in the first 2 minutes of this one.
Yeah, and this is a team that was kind of cobbled together for VPL. I know that the coach left was really sort of keen to get these guys back on and play at a high level, and they have certainly been performing well, taking that game off Tribe in what seemed like a very easy fashion for them. But they have, again, got a slightly different composition to go toe-to-toe with this time round. There's a little bit more contention in terms of late-game scaling with the Vox. Vox still scales quite nicely, still has that option to all-in onto a Baron or a Scarf in a team fight once he's built up those breaking point stacks. So things just change a little bit round this time. Maybe not going to be so easy. Maybe Tribe have learned from their mistakes in the first game, not going to give away too many of those global objective fights.
I mean, a lot of damage coming out onto Erica. Erica is going to be fine, looking to bait under the turret and turn around with an impale. I think what really stands out to me when we look at Old School's Vox is he has a great sense for when he has, and for knowing like when he has just enough breaking point stacks to fully engage. Like, I think he does that better than almost anybody.
I mean, he's had years and years and years of experience with him, so you'd expect a guy of his caliber on Vox to be able to do that kind of play, and he's, like you said, one of the best in the world at making that decision. And that is one of the hardest bits about playing Vox. Yeah, you can use your Sonic Zoom, you can kite, a lot of people can do that. It's all about knowing when to change from defensive to aggressive.
And Old School has an eye for it. Tribe has 3 up towards that top healing treant, while down in bottom, a bit of an engage breaks out in the river. Eco is a slow-moving river troll, and he's going to need starting to bail him out of this one. In fact, Delphi's made his way over. First blood happened up in the top lane. God, goodness gracious me, oh my, oh, rockin' Ohio.
I mean, that was a really good rotation from Chuck and Joseph there, specifically because Chuck knew that the contest was going on the CP buff. He knew and could keep tabs on where Scarf was at all times in that situation. So he made a very easy rotate, knowing the mid lane wave wasn't getting shoved in, and they could punish a Erica who'd already had that flask burn earlier under the tower. So that was a really good move by the Tribe guys. Much better from them this time round.
Tribe guys, I like that branding. Tribe guys.
You mean-
All right. Just,
I got it. What kind of burgers do they do?
Buffalo burgers. Back to the game though, 1-0 in favor of Tribe. 4 minutes in, almost 1k net worth. No, not quite. I mean, on their way to 1k net worth advantage. Eco doing his best to hold this lane back, but Chuck flexes on this Finn, forces Eco under that turret. And that means the starting's gonna lose at least like 3-4 minions there.
Absolutely, starting as well, constantly putting pressure on, but he's actually a little bit further behind this time round. And again, I think Chuck's made very clever plays. Hasn't given away too much compared to the previous game. And I think Tribe overall are making smart, they're cleaning the rotations. They're abusing the weak point of Nova, which is that top lane Lance. That is the weakest point in the map, and you can see the constant rotations towards that top side of the map to take pressure off. Especially that top side CP buff, but it looks like Nova are trying to contest it this time around.
Nova dropping the Spitfire, nice vision down will signal the Tribe is rotating over for this now. This is a 5 versus 4 Barons, not here. CP buff does go the way of Tribe, so this is a nice strong rotation from them. And they find Erica. I don't think they chase Erica down just yet. Old School get a little bit of damage down. And Truth just kind of wandering around bottom right now. Let's see, what's the plan here from Truth? He wants to go ahead and contest this crystal buff, but this is sketchy.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to commit too hard with just a Serpent's Mask as a Baron. The plan from Truth is just the same as usual, farm up. Now, what Truth has done is he's taken the turret very early on. If you speak to Leon, there is a specific strategy called... Okay, well, Leon, I guess I do because I'm on the European server, but there is a specific strategy called don't take the turret strategy, which is something that Leon likes to do when he's in bot lane. And it really is supposed to be about making sure the wave doesn't push too far up in that bot lane, meaning you can constantly farm and get a massive level advantage and a massive CS and gold advantage as the weapon power carry, making you a really powerful mid-game force. When you take that bot lane tier 1 turret, you can't overextend and constantly farm because it's a lot more risky because you're on the opponent's side of the map.
Yeah, so if you're farming, it's maybe not the best thing to do, but if you want to fight, it's definitely the thing to do. And Joseph drops Nova, finding an easy kill, looking for Gabe Vizzle. They'll find it. Erica, nice knockback into the turret there. Tribe will kind of collapse down here as Max Green jumps on in. A little bit of splash damage. Old School looking to get some work done, but he doesn't have a breaking point. And I'm like, yo, my man, what are you doing right there? As Nova take 3 kills. And now we'll look to apply a little bit of pressure onto this turret. Surely this turret's going to start firing back at them as Max Green and Chuck do everything they can to hold on.
Yeah, not the most fruitful of engages for Tribe, their humanists. But regardless, I don't know if it's enough time bought for Nova to go for Ghostwing, and that will be the silver lining. However, Truth manages to rate down to the bot lane. I mean, Max is doing a really lovely job of shoving big waves into Truth here. He's going to get a huge amount of gold and experience just off these waves bouncing towards him in the bottom side of the map.
Yeah,
Wait
level
a second,
7
we've got
to
an
the
engagement
5
mid.
of Max, actually. And Pale up. Joseph, once again, forward, not incredibly tanky. Knocked back, actually maybe helping him a little bit as Max Green shows up to the party. He's looking for starting. He'll find Delphi and Eco. Delphi, a nice little 2-man trash talk over the wall. Love a little good trash talk during competition. And once again, Old School, you don't have the items. You got to be very careful. They turn it around. The Fountain keeping alive Nova just for a second here. The Ion Cannon drops on down. It's going back the other way. Nova find their footing. Looks like Gabe will be dropping. Old School trading with Delphi. Delphi kind of just waiting for maybe Truth to get into position. Truth's like, team, there is actually farm to be had. Gabe, can he dodge out the Spitfire? Yeah, he dodges one. Starting 1-2 basic attacks. Spitfire won't land. Goops down 2-3 basic attacks. Trays his own life over, but it is worth it.
But the Crystal Treant goes over to Truth, and Nova, Delphi and Truth are now going to clean up that bottom side of the jungle. So realistically, in the end, a decent advantage
School
across the
got
board.
that kill too, just throwing it in there.
Yeah, School did pick up a kill, and actually is now 2-1. So realistically, you'd say that was a pretty even trade, but the very small bottom jungle advantages that Nova have managed to pick off here probably give them just a very slight edge in that scenario.
Things are getting dangerous as dangerous can be. Once again, it feels like a bit of deja vu as Eco is just pinned against this middle lane T1 turret here. Chuck consistently shoving this forward. Eco only level 5. All he can do is trying to hold this lane. But, you know, the thing is, Starting's trying to get as much farm off the map as possible, so he's consistently a little bit late there. Doesn't lose too much, so not a big deal. And the story continues up in top. Erica, 2 versus 1. Old School trying to trade here. He's double buffed up. They want to pressure the turret. That's their key objective. But the jump forward, they'll be able to get the Lance. Eco, he shows up, but too late to the party. And Joseph and Old School, if they get some minions forward, they should be able to get in here and take this turret down. In fact, they're going to go ahead and focus down Eco. Surprising stuff. He'll go ahead and keep himself alive with the self fountain there. Turret's definitely going to fall. Nobody else has rotated over. And there you go. Got the kill, got the turret. Old School will be moving over. He's got this breaking point in the weapon infusion now. This guy's ready to start firing off.
Yeah, 4-1 and 2. Great position for Old School to be on one of his signature heroes, and he's going to be very happily now making heavy rotations, left, right, and center, trying to punish Nova. They have the item spikes that come online a bit better for Vox than they do for Baron. And Tribe feel confident enough to go outright for the Ghost Wing, knowing that they just cleaned up a couple of members who will be back at base for Nova.
This feels like a massive power spike over here for Tribe. Let us not forget that this Baron does have breaking point double minions foot right now. I mean, if he's able to get a couple attacks off in the beginning of the fight completely unhindered, it could be good for them. But there's the jump in. Tribe pull the trigger. They go in. Starting is down. Looking for more. It's Delphi next on the menu. I'll go ahead and let the Wolves stay after them because they've got bigger dragons to fry over in the pit. They'll take down Ghostwing. Max finds truth, but with this, Tribe, honestly, building up a bit of momentum in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the weaker points for this Nova composition has been Erica on this Lance in the top lane. He didn't go for a Stormguard banner. He didn't go for Storm Crown. It meant his wave clear was a little bit subpar compared to most top laners that look to invest in that kind of item. Going for the pulse sweep first is great, but if you're not team fighting, it's not going to work out. And that's been a sore spot that has been, whoa, that's a lot of damage onto Truth. That was a sore spot that's been punished by Tribe over and over again. That's allowed them to get huge topside advantage and specifically Old School advantage on this Fox.
I love the scout cam down in the brush here. I'm not sure the Nova actually realized that was down. Joseph goes ahead and marks target with the Ghostwing buff. Tribe obviously feeling confident. They do not have Max Green with them. Max Green also holding a Crucible for his team, so I'm sure they'd love to group up and kind of fight together. About 45 more seconds, 40 seconds or so, we will have this Black Claw spawning on the map, and it'll be another point to fight over on the map. So I expect another team fight rather soon.
Yeah, let's have a look at item spikes as well. You can see starting's now at 2 items. He does get caught out here very heavily by Chuck. I think Starting's dead.
Chuck just bodied Starting. That was pretty good stuff.
Well, Merlin does that, dude. When she's got that aftershock online, now also with the Dragon's Eye, Merlin will pick off those squishies very heavily. Chuck now looking to be aggressive.
This is Tribe. Tribe's got it right here. Wait for it. It's going to come over the top. Look at Joseph stacking up the breaking points. He's going to get at least one. They will get the turret off of this as well. Now Erica's in. Erica's going to die as well. This is it. They're online. How many times have we seen this story? But bada boom? Oh, we've never seen this version of the story. Bada boom will disrupt Tribe off. Fountain blown by Gabe Vizzle keeps his teammates alive. We can tell Blocks just making stuff happen right now. And Nova, they got to be really careful not to misstep. There is a lot of strength coming out of I was gonna say Starting's all over the scarf. Down at bottom, Chuck finds another solo kill as he takes down Truth.
Yeah, at this point it just feels like, I mean, a couple of these plays have looked fantastic from Nova, but realistically, Tribe are all over them. It feels like they're just leaving Truth to farm. They're like, okay, let's just give up team fights. Hopefully don't give up too much on the map, and then let Truth get to the late game. That kind of maybe feels like the game plan that they're running with right now, but Tribe are doing such an excellent job of punishing at left, right, and center. They're going for global objectives. They're looking to be aggressive, and right now they're going for Black Claw.
They are indeed. And this is, for the most part, no, it's uncontested. Ion Cannon will be too early to find that steal. Black Claw unleashed. Score now 12-6 in favor of Tribe. 13 minutes in. 4K net worth advantage as they'll start to march in towards mid. Looking for an opening. Chuck on the front line. Look at that damage coming out into Eco. Makes them look like a squishy mage right there with the damage that they put out. Weapon infusion popped for Truth, level 11. He'll be looking to get onto one of these squishier targets. Gauntlet comes down by Gabe, blocked off as they're able to get back. Eco and Starting melting. They'll fall simultaneously. Tribe do not care. The Wolves are out. They're running in. This is a real team engage right here as they go with no mercy. Double kill for Chuck. They are deep in the base, juggling the damage like some clowns, and they're out of there. Black Claw will take down the T2 as Tribe take a massive team fight victory.
I mean, that was insane. I can see what Max is trying to do, looking for a flank play with his teleport boots. He's trying to do the troll Grumpjaw ultimate teleport to base move that Max likes to pull off. Right there, you saw Truth actually reflex block the Grumpjaw ultimate, which is a big block for him. But regardless, that heavy engage gave with the perfect Crucible, followed up with I Love Joseph, obviously having the ultimate from the Fortress. They dove in and punished that lead that they have over Nova. Nova, however, did steady the ship, and they didn't lose an armory, which is massively important because it allows them to control waves at the same pace that they were previously. They're not going to naturally be pushed in one lane right now, and actually, they're going straight for Ghostwing.
We're going straight for Ghostwing, but there's also the movement coming down from Tribe. Tribe have to realize what's happening. It feels like a bold call to just go for this if they did.
I think it would be really underestimating Tribe's ability to react, just given the place that they are in. I think they must have assumed Tribe were either just in their own jungle or backing off, which they were, but Tribe were very well aware of the fact that Nova had telegraphed their move over to Ghostwing, and now Tribe are the ones setting up for this. I just don't think Nova have the item spikes to contest right now. I think it would be silly to try and contest Ghostwing.
They have so much movement speed, the ability to stick onto targets, not to mention the mobility coming out of the Vox. Oh! Skull grabs the goal, man. He's just styling now. This is
that was a resonance bounce, by the way.
It was? Oh man,
Yeah.
that was nice stuff right there. I'm digging it. You can tell. Old School's feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of his best heroes you'd expect him to. And he's now working towards what I think that's likely going to be. What do we think this last item is going to be? A spell sword or a sorrow blade would be my two guesses.
Hard to say. I mean, I guess he could just I'm not even.
I think spell sword's viable. I think spell sword's viable because the cooldown increase on the sonic zoom.
Yeah.
I genuinely think spell sword's a pretty viable last item. You just don't have the same amount of damage, but it's all about kiting.
Just feeds into that ability to be mobile through the fights. Like it gives, like they have the war treads, they have the fortress to increase move speed. Everybody's saving their boots for when those two things aren't being used. Then you got the sonic zoom to dash around, Vanguard slingshotting people in and around the fights. Max can continue to close distance. Like they just have so many tools to jump around these fights. Crystal Treant pulled back, taken. Old School, Jesus, on the front line trying to really make something happen here, and he sure is. Look at this Vox go. Eco trying to tank up for the fight, pulls back with the Polite Company. He can't really do enough. No, nice Force Accord will disrupt the fight, but Eco's fallen. Erica with the Githian wall into the nice impale. Do they have some follow-up here? Ion Cannon comes down, but Joseph and Max stay alive. They've split Moline apart from the fight. School's fallen, and that's the biggest strength for Tribe right now. So the chase is on. They want Chuck, and they want Chuck bad, but who doesn't really? We can talk about that later as well, Scoundrel. Tribe kiting back, looking to turn around and get the damage down. Delphi's in with the damage. The Jawbreaker has the stun. The controls there as Nova flipped this game on its head. Still down in overall net worth, but picking up 3 kills for 1.
Dude, I mean, if you look at the way that fight played out, Tribe was so invested in trying to take down Erica and Delphi, who at this point are really tanky, that even though the gauntlet came through, you had a lot of time gifted over to starting and to Truth to build up the stacks on their Dragon's Eye and Breaking Point. And by the time that they actually got back into the fight, Tribe had clumped up around that front line. Splash damage and AoE damage coming out from the Scarf and the Baron made it very easy for them to try and clean up the squishes in the fight. And also, again, Delphi's Tony ultimates have been insane.
Nice attempt to go ahead and steal away that Black Claw. It will be unleashed by Nova. Good guys Nova unleashing the dragon. You know, dragon doesn't like to be pinned up. In fact, he's angry and he's so happy that he's been unleashed. He's going to fight for them. He's down in the mid lane here. Nova looking to pull this one out of the bag, and how amazing that would be to come in 2-0 against Tribe. Tribe have to take a good fight here. They cannot lose this fight, you know? So my question, like, I wonder, are they going to play a little bit more defensively, look to just take out this Black Claw, or do they get in there and try to find a couple kills and go ahead and flip this back the other way? Tribe stay in their base for now. Max Crane, he's into Nova. The gauntlet comes down from Gabe. They're looking for starting. Have they found him? It looks like it, but the Fountain keeps starting alive. He's trying to kite back. He will go down. School's deep on the back lines. He takes down Truth. That's the double kill for the Vox. It's time to dance, baby. You're on ice. It's the musical Tribe Gaming version right here. Lion King's got nothing on it. Max Green squares up with Delphi while the rest of his team will push on forward. Looks like Max will be able to shove Delphi out. Black Claw still alive, And with this, Tribe will just march down into this bottom lane. We got 12 seconds for starting on the respawn, 18 on Eco, 11 on Truth. They'll get in. This bottom turret's going to drop. They're onto the armory, or did they get onto the Vein Crystal? And it's questionable decisions. They get onto the army right away. Gabe moves out mid. The rest of his team dips out down bottom. Blacklaw still alive, team. And Max Green still chasing Delphi. Erica moving forward, does get the engage onto the Fortress. It looks like they're going to lose Fortress at minimum. Maylene taking a lot of damage. She's in a bad place. Max Green pulls up, looking to recall out. Woo! That's also calculated. Man, this guy just living on the edge. Oh my goodness, Scoundrel. What a fight here. What a turn of events.
I feel like I haven't talked for about 3 minutes. That was really long.
I was having a good time. Maybe you should just stop talking.
Maybe I should. I think what happened there was, again, exactly what we called out Old School for at the start of the game. Knows when to be aggressive. He dived right to the back line. Starting and Truth were kind of blocked up by that gauntlet. And that was Old School's opportunity to dive in, build breaking point stacks on the weaker members of the team. And he did very easily. Burst down the Scarf, burst down Truth eventually. But the mistake that I think they made is they committed too many people to the bot lane armory rush and not enough people to clearing Blacklaw, who ended up trading armory for armory. Now, I think I would prefer to have an armory down in the bottom side of the map. It means it's more easy to control the wave around Ghostwing and also will draw pressure furthest away from Blacklaw. However, it's an armory for an armory trade at the end of the day. And Nova have still kept this to within 4K. And at this point in the game, 4K is less damaging as it would have been at about 10 minutes.
Truths have been spoken by our dear Scoundrel. This game could go either way. Tribe taking the game means we go to game 3. Nova taking this game means it is their championship. And Joseph has been caught out one more time with nowhere to go. Nova will take down the Wolf, making this a 5 versus 4 on the map. 35-second respawn time on the Fortress, and Tribe will bide their time.
How much time do they have to work with till the next big global objective comes up? I'm assuming Ghostwing is going to be spawning fairly soon. I wasn't keeping track of the timers though, I'm a bad person. They look like they're trying to catch out Chuck though, who's already had to use boots and his B. That will get him out though, in this situation.
You're not going to catch
Tribe
Chuck
still
like that.
Nah, but the Tribe's still in a very risky spot.
Max Green has been showing that he sure loves some risky plays. And I'm sure probably feeling comfortable in the moment. Sometimes pressure brings out the best in folks.
Max has been a solid player for Tribe throughout many. I mean, look at his build. He's gone for what is his build? Teleport boots for the Troll Max Green ultimate teleport, but then he's built journey boots as well to make sure that he can get into position for it. He looks to be like really all-inning on this play.
No, it's like two different things. Like one is for just like securing one guaranteed kill. The other one is like so he can reset and team fight over and over.
But this is like an item slot that he's taking up, and the only other 2 item slots he's got with useful things in is Crucible and Slumbering Husk, and Slumbering Husk isn't that useful.
Like heroes with 2 legs use 1 boot. Heroes with 4 legs use 2 boots. That's
I see. It's just
simple logic.
I see. You've made
Not
sense
the
to me now.
Raptor. Tribe, move down. There is vision from Nova. Tribe, go and drop their own scout cam, realizing there were double cams down by Nova. Look at the strategy. Now you can't even clear the other cam out. There's 2. Gabe Bizzle pulls the trigger on the gauntlet. Delphi's inside. That's the tankiest target. Starting stays on the back. Truth as well. They're trying to kite. They're doing a great job thus far. Joseph absorbing a lot of damage for Tribe, but he's down. Max Green and Gabe Bizzle dropping down low as well. Chuck doing his best along with Old School. Now Old School's in the thick of things. He can't get out of it.
Oh, Nova!
They took 4 down with Gabe Bizzle, the last man standing. There will be no defense. Tribe Gaming have fallen. Nova Esports have done it, taking Tribe down 2-0 here in the VPL Summer Open Championship. So many predictions were just ruined. Scoundrel, this Nova squad is for real.
They are an incredible set of players with high mechanical prowess. Truth looked like an absolute god this series, and starting wasn't half bad himself either. That last fight there, they tried to all in Truth, knowing that he was the key late game component, but Truth perfectly timing his jumps with some great support from his team, and he was able to heal back with that Serpent's Mask and the heavy damage that he was dealing so nicely. Incredible stuff. our VPL champions, ousting tribe, which nobody expected, are Nova.